one other note I think that's worth sounding, and it's a bit counterintuitive, but I think that that Catholicity, lowercase c, so having a kind of big-hearted, generous warmth toward other gospel preaching churches in the area, that is not in tension with caring about a lot of these distinctives and convictions we're talking about. In fact, it kind of frees you to. So here's what I mean by that. I planted the church when I was 38, which, some may listen to that and think, oh, that's young. But as church planters go, that's a little on the older side. I think if I had planted when I was 28, I would have tried to be all things to all people and would have wanted my church to be all things to all Richmonders. And of course, I'm still being sanctified. I just think 10 years later, I'm a little more comfortable in my own skin and who I am and who I'm not. And so I don't feel the need for my one church to check everyone's boxes. I trust the Lord's doing wonderful work through all kinds of churches in Richmond that preach the gospel. And therefore, I'm freed up to engage in that kind of truth in advertising. Here's who we are, what we're going to stand for, and let's kind of take it seriously together. But as Mark has said, we keep clear fences, but we shake hands over them often.
Being clear with who you are on the inside allows you to, or let me put it this way, having trust in God's work with those on the outside allows you to be clear with who you are on the inside to your church.
Exactly.
Is what I hear you saying.
Well, and I just say again and again, when I'm with pastors, the most important things about your church are not the things that distinguish your church from other true Christian churches.
Yeah.
The most important things about your church are the things it shares in common with every other true Christian church since Jesus.
Amen.
Because there's so much in some of these church planting agencies and movements that will try to market the church, will almost try to brand it as opposed to other churches around you.
Because you're coming on the market.
Yeah,
you have to distinguish your product.
And that can sound a little bit like, say, you and me being convictional Congregationalists or convictional Baptists, because we have an understanding that all of the people who are Christians don't share, and so we have to bring out those differences. But we're bringing them out humbly as recipients of grace, sharing our understanding you don't have to agree with us on these matters. These are not gospel essential matters, but they are church membership essential matters. We're going to have to agree on this in order to have a church together. Like Acts 15, you're either going to take Mark with you or you're not. You're not saying that's a saving decision, but you will do one or the other. And so we have to, as pastors, be aware of differences between us and other churches, and at least some of those things we are intentional about, and we mean them to be the way they are. But that shouldn't make us in any way competitive, like we're on two opposing teams, because we're basically, if both churches are preaching the gospel, we're on the same team.
Absolutely. And one more,